jam for today. Put the Zoom so you can see.
Yeah.
Jam for today. Okay, coming. Put the Zoom so you can see.
Yeah.
Okay, coming. Put the Zoom so you can see.
Yeah. Yeah.
Now we have to carry this out. I always do the same. I mute my phone so you don't hear the things that I'm doing. Okay. What I was saying is that I enjoy so much my weekend camping. Let me see. That picture is a friend meditating. We were three people, the three of us from the same spiritual path, the teachings of Paramahansa Yogananda. I am there in that beautiful place where I record the video that I posted this morning. And hola Nancy, hola Clau, hola Laura, and who else? So, last Thursday, I talked about what does it mean to be awake. And during camping, I realized that there are many things that are together with being awake. What happened with this thing? So I realize that there are qualities that awake people have. And what does it mean, those qualities? But since I am doing it in English, Laura, hello Laura. Let's rewind a little bit. Well, let's start with this, because this is new for all of those who watch my other video in Spanish. So I realized, for what I said on Thursday that I'm going to review today, when we are awake, we have some qualities. And I remember sometime last year I was with a friend at the Lexrine Temple of Self-Realization Fellowship. There was this monk talking about relationships. There are many people alone, they want to have a romantic relationship. And the monk said, look for one quality. And I don't remember the one that he mentioned. And he said, if you find one quality that is important for you, it's very likely that the other qualities will be there. But then I realize, if you're finding for a quality in a person and you don't find it, it's missing that quality, there is a chance that the other qualities that are important for you are missing too. And I realized that for me, the most important qualities, and I remember about 10 years ago, Janet told me, we were talking about healing. She said, to me, it's all about integrity. And I never, never forgot that. So for me, when I'm looking for a friend, or a business relationship, or whatever relationship, is honesty, integrity, and trust. I went through a situation very painful lately. And when I talked to a friend, she told me, out of the blue, that was a breach of trust. Breach means when you end up a contract that could be an ethical contract, a moral contract between friends, a pact, an arrangement, an agreement that you have with a friend, and is terminated in a dishonest way. When she told me that, I said, yes, this is why it's hurting me so much. So, to me, again, honesty, integrity, and that I can trust a person are so important for me. And when we were camping, this woman, friend of mine since back in Argentina, she was with her husband, was telling me about her son, that this, I think, is 24 years old. And he said, when he was 10, he had one of the biggest pain in life. He was 10 years old. He had a friend, 12 years old, and the friend had a lot of personal issues. He was adopted, probably he didn't even know his real parents. And one day his friend told him, my father used to be a professional soccer player. And this 10-year-old kid realized that it wasn't true and broke his heart at 10 years old. So I realized how important it is to find for equality. When you are talking to an awakened person, as we said before, awakened means spiritually awake, that we know we are a soul. We are not just a physical body. We have an astral body which is composed with prana, this intelligent energy that stores information. Remember the exercise. Thou art in me, when we breathe that prana that is in the air, and we feel our body, our energy body, all with this prana, and I am with thee when we exhale. We inhale, thou art in me, and when we exhale, I am in thee. So we are not just physical body, this physical body. We are the astral body that is composed by this prana and mind stuff. And the mind is not something physical, but we don't have that mind if we don't have this body, that mind stuff. And then we have our causal body. When we are interested on meditation, on being at peace, not more in money, sex, and fame, and being in the front line of many things. So, but we look for simple things in life, and we enjoy, like going camping. You will see this quality in people. Another way to know if we are awake is we are honest with ourselves. We have integrity with ourselves, and we can trust ourselves. What does it mean? If we know that there is a food that doesn't make us feel good, and we are alone, nobody sees us, well, we don't eat it. If we know that For example, I remember we were in the camping and they took the roll of paper towel and I had mine. And for the thing I thought, I'm going to use theirs or mine. No, I'm going to use mine. And they were not there. Nobody will know. But I was honest. This is integrity. Little things like that. Because if somebody doesn't have one of those qualities, for example, honesty, they don't have integrity and we cannot trust them. So this is a sign of being awake. Those qualities. I'm not going to translate the video of the other woman, but basically she says, being awake means being spiritually awake. However, I read from Paramahansa Yogananda lately, so what we are talking about is that we know that we are more than a body. But Paramahansa Yogananda says, you are awake when you are one with the spirit. And I will tell you a little fairy tale. When we practice deep meditation, that this woman that I showed the video last Thursday, she was talking about, you are awake when you meditate, and we meditate deeply. So when we practice these meditation techniques that Paramahansa Yogananda teaches, you start feeling a deep, very deep peace inside. Very deep, very deep. So the higher states of consciousness are inside of us. We feel like a deep peace in the mind. We feel it like the breathing slows down. So the ultimate awake state is when we are 100% awake in spirit. That takes a lot of work. It could take one lifetime if we dedicate a lot of time to our meditations, and the only teachings that I found that are deep are the pranayamas that Paramahansa Yogananda teaches. It could take several lives. But if in this lifetime you are here, well, we all are in this process to being awake. Does it make sense? Is it understandable? Let me see. This is, what channel is this? I want to see if there is anybody here. Hey, hold on a second. Okay. So, going back to this. Being awake means that we are awake of our own inner world, that we are not in automatic pilot, that we don't do things automatically without thinking, am I hurting someone else? With this thing that I do, I am out of integrity. With this thing that I do, I am stealing somebody's something. So we are aware of what we are thinking and what we decide to do, to act. This is being awake. But the awakening means inside of us. When we are awake inside of us, then we are aware. When we are aware of what we are doing, our thoughts, our feelings, many times people do not know that they have feelings. They go through the emotion, they go through all this uncomfortable situation, and they don't know how to feel their feelings. So when we are aware inside, then we start being aware outside. I remember I was maybe 24, 26. I was living in Cordoba, Argentina, in the middle of the country, and the monks of Self-Realization Fellowship, actually was a nun, went to do the Kriya Yoga initiation. I had the lessons of Kriya Yoga. I've been practicing for a while, and I was so happy and with the results I was having, and I decided to help as an usher. And the only instruction that the nun gave us is, be aware of the necessities, the needs of the people around you. And I never forgot that. Whenever I am in a public place helping, I am aware of what people need. So guess what? We are awake to other people's needs. And if we satisfy everybody's needs, we are going to satisfy ours. It doesn't mean that we are going to be working and working all our life for someone else and not taking care of us. But for example, we are in a family. We take care of our kids, we take care of our spouses. We have a friend, we are living with a friend or whatever, we have a friend. We are thinking about our friend and we send a text. We send an email offering something. How are you doing? Today I check on one of my students because she didn't answer a text that I sent on Friday until today. And after 3 texts, I said, "Are you okay?" And then she answered me back. She texted me back and said, "Yeah, thank you for asking." So this is being aware of the necessities of people. If somebody doesn't call you for a while, you start thinking, what is going on? Is he okay? Is she okay? Once in a while, I send a text to my closest friend and I say, "How are you doing?" Or I send a picture or something and we communicate for a little bit. So when we are aware inside, then we start being aware outside and being concerned about people's needs and try to help them. But the most important thing is to be aware. Remember always this: when we read a book, we read this book, we learn things. But when we practice, we get realization of that. So we are really, really awake when we practice meditation every day. And when our daily meditation becomes, did you see the orb? It went, no, that way. So when meditation is the most important part in our day, every morning, every afternoon, we are really start being awake. Because we are doing something to become more awake, more aware of our inner self. I need to tell you that for a few years I had this blessing that when I practice the Honso, that in the teachings of Paramahansa Yogananda is way deeper than the one that I used to teach. I'm not going to do it anymore, but you learned it already. I had a blessing to start practicing that technique, and my breathing in just 2 minutes or less, 2 or 3 breathings, started being so calm that all the problems of the world faded. Now, that happened after a big pain that I had here. For 2 months I was having this pain. That was in 2016. And a good friend of mine did a phenomenal healing session. It took 3 healing sessions from that person. But that day, it was so profound that instead of laying down half an hour, it was a distance healing session, I lay down an hour and 15 minutes because I kept feeling this peace. And I sat on my bed and I started breathing and I said, what is going on? My breathing is very, very calm. And then, every day when I meditated, I realized I sit down and I practice this Honso technique and my breathing is very, very calm. The mind starts calming. The worries are going away. Why do I tell you this? To encourage you to keep meditating. Now, being awake. Today, I was talking to a client and he told me, after this session that I received from you, I felt that all these deep toxic energies went away because I felt better. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do better things in life. But he told me for the last month or so, these ugly feelings of taking revenge, of being angry with this person who affected his life so much, came back. And I told him, I understand you 100% because I went through the same thing. And today, just today, after 10 days of conflict with myself, I decided to forgive and let go of everything. And I was sitting in the toilet today, and I remember back in Jesus said, or the Bible said something like, there was a song that we used to sing in church. Devolver el bien por mal, ser testigos de su amor. Eso, ser testigos de su amor devolviendo bien por mal. Being witness of His love, God's love, really forgiving from the heart. And instead of taking action to correct that situation, I let it go completely. It took a healing session from one of my best friends yesterday because I told him I cannot forget the situation. But I promise you, when we really forget completely, and we let go from the heart, we feel so good. Because at the end, like Paramahansa Yogananda explains very well, when we do an action, our action is compared with the Christ consciousness spiritual laws of the creation. At the beginning was a spirit and nothing else. Then the cosmic consciousness, that we are going to use this for the healing today. We're going to use the cosmic consciousness, the method from Jorge. The spirit, then the spirit created the cosmic consciousness, and the cosmic consciousness created the Christ consciousness that made the whole creation. However, making that creation in the causal world, the astral world, and the physical world, there are some laws that govern this universe. So when we do something, what we do is compare with these spiritual laws, deep spiritual law. If they are in contradiction, if they are in opposition, there will be a consequence. But it's not that God is punishing us. We are punishing ourselves. So, I remember that my Reiki teacher Alberto told me regarding all these people that are creating this crisis without any reason. Everyone will be subject to their own karma. No matter that if they are millionaires, if they have very high position in governments, in corporations, everyone will face at the end of their life the result of their actions. So we need to have that consciousness, not like in a punishing way, because God is always love. In the spirit world, God and the great saints, they never judge us. We get punishing ourselves with our own consciousness. Why did I do this to this? Why did I do this to that person? And remember, Jorge talks about that all the time. Nora, finally. Gracias, Nora. Estoy hablando lo mismo que hablé el jueves, pero lo voy a hablar de nuevo este jueves. So next Thursday, I'm going to talk about all the things that I'm talking today in Spanish, because we learn more things. All right. Today we are going to use the Jorge's method of the consciousness, because in this week I'm going to tell you one thing. While I was driving to my camping weekend, Saturday morning, at about 10:15, I called one of my best friends. And she answers and she said, Carlos, guess what? And immediately I thought, your niece? Yes. The niece was in a rehab place, not in the United States, on another country. And she escaped the day before, Friday, and until Saturday in the morning when I called her, she wasn't found. The place is very dangerous place. I said, okay, let's do this method. Did you listen to the video that I sent you? I sent Jorge's video from last Wednesday. She said, no, okay, we are going to do it now. Sit down, and I was driving. And I guide her through the process, very similar to what I did on Saturday and on Thursday, and I'm going to do today. And we did it for 20 minutes while I was driving. I was so focused, I felt so much energy, and she felt so good that she told me, I feel confidence now. So, an hour later, I didn't have any more reception. I couldn't, and I sent her a text, how do you feel? But then I went into the wilderness, driving my car. I didn't know anything until yesterday, Monday, at about 5:30, my phone started ringing of the text that people send me since Saturday, on Sunday, and on Monday, and I see she tells me, Carlos, my niece was found. But the way she was found is amazing. The mother went to look for her in a huge and very dangerous city. And about 7 hours after we did the process, the mother was with 2 other relatives. And in a yellow light, she stops, and the daughter, the one that was missing with the rehab problems, walk in front of her in the car. In front of her. Imagine. And we did a process. I did a process every time that I remember the situation on Saturday and Sunday and Monday was. Sunday and Monday was after they found her. Because I did a process with employees of the rehab center, with the police of that place, with the mother, with my friend, and with the girl. And she says, thank you so much for your support. And she knows that the process that we did helped find her niece. Okay, ladies and gentlemen. Yes, amazing, Clau. So I tell you this for you to start using it. Even I was tempted to start doing a group, to doing just on our own, not online. But today we are going to do it for all of us and for the world. Maybe to help with the fire here in LA, but friends have told me that a lot of natural disasters are all over the world. All right, we're going to start now. It's 6:30 o'clock. The process is very simple. We touch the tip of with the tip of our tongue, the top of our roof mouth, the palate. Ideally, in the point between the hard palate or roof of the mouth and the soft one. And we keep it there. Why do we do that? Because it closes an energetic circuit between the heart and the brain. And the energy circulates through the front of our body and through the back of our body and amplifies our magnetic field. Our aura. That's the first thing that we do. Then we get our consciousness into the tiny space of the heart. The tiny space of the heart is a place where we are with the omnipresence of God in consciousness. We just do this. Usually our consciousness in the middle of the brain. And we close our eyes. So you can watch first. We close our eyes and we make this consciousness go down the spine, down the spine, down the spine to the heart chakra, and then left to the heart, to the back of the heart. And we visualize a door, and our consciousness enters that tiny space of the heart. And from there, we are in this space of consciousness that is omnipresence. And from there, we are going to start practicing this process that Jorge called the method of the consciousness, the divine consciousness methods. So with the eyes closed, we are going to remember that we are God creators of divine consciousness. Remember that I explained a few minutes ago, at the beginning there was just the spirit and nothing else. Then the cosmic consciousness, that's the consciousness that Jorge calls the divine consciousness. The cosmic consciousness manifested as a Christ consciousness, and the Christ consciousness manifested as a causal world, astral world, and physical world. So when we create from the cosmic consciousness or divine consciousness, we are creating from the very root of the creation, where everything is created. This process can be used only to do good, never to do bad. So from that space, with that consciousness that we are invoking the purest consciousness of God, the divine consciousness, we are remembering that we are God creators of divine consciousness. This is the very first time that this process is done in English. And we are going to call the gods creators of divine consciousness to come and help us. Those are from the light and nothing but from the light. I invoke my line of gurus because I know they are safe. And we are going to ask the divine consciousness to flow through us, to flow in our root chakra, and to remove all the things that are not serving us, that make us feel that we are not supported financially, with love from the community, from our family. All these fears that we are not, or uncomfortability that we are not supported. And we just ask the consciousness, the divine consciousness, to flow in our root chakra and remove everything that is not serving us. The eyes should be lifted to the Christ consciousness or spiritual light. This is extremely important. So we connect with the super consciousness. If the eyes are at the eye level, we are in the conscious state. And if the eyes are lower, looking down, we enter in the sleepy state of subconsciousness. So the eyes, always when we meditate, we do these processes, are lifted to the spiritual light. And now divine consciousness flow through our sacral chakra, the second chakra. Just flow and remove everything that is not serving us. This feeling of shame, guilt, fear, the feeling of not enjoying life. Enjoy life with moderation. Enjoy life with the thought of God, with the joy of God if we can. Divine consciousness flow through our solar plexus, the seat of our personal power, and remove all the obstacles that are making us to lose our self-esteem and making us to give our power away. We don't do our power away to anybody. We can follow somebody's instructions, teachings, but we don't want to give our power away. This process is a self-empowering process. and we remove those obstacles, and we recover our self-esteem, the confidence to trust processes in life, things on life, and even people. And we move up to the heart chakra, and we remove all the obstacles that doesn't let us love openly, with joy, with confidence, trusting people. Divine consciousness flow through all our chakras, from the root chakra up the spine to the second, third, and heart chakra. Divine consciousness flow through our throat chakra, so we can say our truth. We can have our voice, and we have also creativity. Also, the second chakra is the seat of the creativity. Talking to a monk one time, I asked him, what are ways that the master, we call Paramahansa Yogananda master because he's the master of himself. What does he mean? He always does things. A master is somebody who does always things that are not against our will, against our highest good. What Paramahansa Yogananda recommended to control the sexual energy, and he said, when we have the urge, we put all that energy in creative activities. Divine consciousness flows through our medulla oblongata, which is the organ, not only physical but metaphysical, astral organ, where the energy enters our body. If the energy doesn't enter through our medulla, we don't have a life. We don't have life. Our body will be still without life. And sometimes there could be toxic energies there that doesn't let us perform at our highest. Maybe 90%, 95%, 100%. And now we go up to the spiritual eye, that is the seat of the intuition. So we use our intuition to know the truth. So we know what to do for our highest good. If we have to do this trip, if we have to do business with this person, if a friendship is alright for us, if a relationship is whether it's business, romantic, or friends, or relatives, is for our highest good. That sits on the spiritual eye. Divine consciousness flow through our spiritual eye and make it free from all toxic energies. Divine consciousness flow through our astral body. Through our astral, remember that the chakras are part of our astral body. And flow and incinerate all toxic energies that are not serving us. From the three levels. The non-evil entities, that includes toxic thought forms, the human spirit attachments, which is the second level, that includes people that are alive, people that are not, relatives or not relatives, and the third or deepest level of energy blockages. To remove everything, to make us free from all limitations. Now, let's think each one of something that is bothering you and you want out of your life. If you're sitting with the spine straight, it's the best position to do this process, like meditating. So we are going to think about an issue that is bothering us the most, or a person, or an issue with a person that is bothering us a lot. And we just say, divine consciousness flow on this person, for example, in Mary, and in the uncomfortable situation that we have now. Divine consciousness flow through this person and the uncomfortable situation we are now. When we were doing this process with my friend, when I was driving on Saturday to my camping place, the intention was divine consciousness flowed through the name of this girl, let's say Alexis, and through the uncomfortable situation we are all living because we cannot find her. And spirit took care of itself in the best way. So we are going to ask the divine consciousness, which is the root of all creation, to solve the uncomfortable situation we had with a person, a relative, a relationship, a friend, a co-worker, whatever it is. Now we are going to ask something regarding our work, something that is important to us. If we don't like the work that we have, if we want to do something else because we feel that we came to this world for something else, or whatever you want, for another item that is out of our reach and we want for the highest good, for example, to help other people. Always our eyes gently lifted to the spiritual eye, the tongue touching the top of the roof mouth, and inside of the tiny space of the heart, what is the omnipresence of this divine consciousness. And remember that we have the right as children of God to be God creators of divine consciousness. Remember that we have all the help we could ask. But we need to be in tune with God in the calmness of deep meditation and then practice this process. And if we have a relative, a friend who is sick, we can ask the divine consciousness to flow in that person and to resolve that challenge. Now we are going to ask for the resolution of uncomfortable situations in our community. What could it be? you will know it. Whatever is bothering the community, for example, in my case now, is the fire in LA. I am about 20 miles away, and today there were ashes, and I live next to the beach where 99% of the breeze comes from the ocean. How come the ashes from so far away were here? We have a serious problem. So you ask for a challenge that your community is having, and we ask the divine consciousness to flow in that uncomfortable challenge that we have. Letting God, this divine consciousness, to find the solution, what is best for this situation. Now, divine consciousness flowed through us, so we have the wisdom to forgive from the deepest of our heart, true forgiveness. When we feel light, free, because that anger, holding grudge, resentment is not with us anymore. And when we think about that situation of that person, we don't feel that toxic emotion anymore, this uncomfortable, poisoning energy in our body. And let go. Let go, forgive, until that situation or person doesn't have any charge in our body. We think about the situation and doesn't bother us anymore. That requires a lot of strength from us. Divine consciousness gives us the strength to understand, to differentiate between the things that we can change and the things that we cannot, and let go of the things that we cannot control. Divine consciousness flow through us and give us the strength to forgive and let go. 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 Let's move a little broader to our countries, to all the countries of the world. So people in the government have the understanding to do the best for their people, not personal interest on money or another forms of corruption. Divine consciousness flow through all the politicians and people who govern the countries. Give them understanding, give them some kind of awakening so they don't hurt their people anymore. Divine consciousness flow through all humankind that we live in peace and harmony. And we visualize the whole humankind surrounded by a light on every human being. Today I have a Reiki session. The person who was at the table receiving the hands-on, and his partner who was laying down on the sofa, and both of them saw a white light. So that light, I told them, is a manifestation of God. This is going to be your reference of what God is. So that light that comes from God is covering the whole world in all human beings. Divine consciousness flow through all human beings, that love and truth will prevail, that peace and harmony will prevail. And we visualize the whole world now with all its human beings, animals, the birds of the skies, the fish in the seas, the animals on the land, all plants, minerals, mountains, everything full of light, full of light. Peace and harmony, peace and harmony, full of light, full of light. Full of light. The light is inside of everyone. The whole planet is a sphere of light. Peace and harmony, love and truth. Peace and harmony, love and truth for all human beings. Divine consciousness flow through all human beings and the whole planet. Divine consciousness flow through the whole planet for the highest good. And now we are going to dissolve, destroy, incinerate all dense energy that is trying to pull us back from God, to pull us back on toxic emotions and behaviors, to be disconnected with God. The word Satan is the word that Jesus used to use, means the one who separates. Satan in the old Hebrew, one of the Hebrew languages, means the separator, the one who separates. So if we are doing something from the light, there shouldn't be any separation. Separation of humans, separation of on races and things like that. So we're going to dissolve all the dense energies that are trying to pull us away from the light. And we can visualize that the light is covering the planet and dissolving any and everything that is dark. Darkness is the absence of light. Divine consciousness flow through all of us, through the whole planet. And now we bring the searchlight of our attention to us. divine consciousness flow through our physical body and repair anything that needs to be healed in our physical body, but from the consciousness. So we repair our causal body first, which is just consciousness and ideas, then repair our astral body, which is the world of prana, of energy and mind stuff, and then our physical body will be repaired consequently after we repair our energy and consciousness. Actually, we dissolve the toxic consciousness, then the astral or prana consciousness, energy, and then our physical body is healed. And to finish, divine consciousness flow into our understanding and give us the strength to forgive. The strength to leave behind toxic habits that are not in our highest good. To have the strength to say no to ourselves when we are going to do something that we hurt ourselves, physically, mentally, emotionally. And when we have that taken care of, we are incapable to hurt other people. This is why it's so important to meditate and connect with God every day. And that connection is this divine consciousness. You can practice this on your own. You can get together with friends. Divine consciousness flow through our minds so we make the right decisions. Flow through our intuition. Our mind, our brain is there in the same area. So we know what to do, what is the best for us, for people around us. And just make one more intention, divine consciousness flow through this or that situation to resolve it. We don't even ask the way that it has to be resolved. God will always surprise us. Divine consciousness give us the strength and the wisdom to learn our lessons with the circumstances we have to go through life. Even if it's difficult, to ask God to give us the wisdom to learn the lessons. And now divine consciousness flows through all physical creation in the whole universe. Divine consciousness flows through all the astral world, which is much bigger than the physical in the whole universe. Divine consciousness flow through all the causal body, causal world. Paramahansa Yogananda teaches that the physical world is like a basket inside of a much bigger basket, which is the astral world, the world of the prana and mind stuff, which is inside of a bigger basket, which is the causal world, which is the origin of creation of the astral and physical bodies. Divine consciousness flows through the three worlds: the physical universe, the astral universe, and the causal universe. Now we thank the presence of the God creators of divine consciousness, and like Jorge said, we are, what did he say, spiritual warriors? Well, God creators God creators of divine consciousness, and we have to assume that role. Do you remember that? All right. It's difficult to talk after this process. If you have a question regarding this subject, what does it mean to be awake? How do I know that I am awake? Please let me know. Summarizing, awake means that we are aware that we are spirit, that we are not just this physical body. We are starting being awake when we are interested in spiritual subjects like meditation, when we have these questions like who am I, where I am here for, is this world, is this life the only one? And then if we want to know if we are awake, we need to find the qualities we want to see on other people if we have them. And if we see that we are cheating to ourselves, well, we need to heal that first. It's important to be honest with ourselves. If we are not honest with ourselves, we are not going to be honest with other people. My brain has so much energy. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to check if I receive an email. I want to invite a friend to... No, I didn't receive it. To talk about Ayurveda, but looks like it's not going to be tomorrow. Ayurveda is an ancient medicine method from India that uses herbs and food. So I will see you tomorrow at 1 p.m. I hope that people from Spain can connect. And if I don't know what to talk about, I will have to read a book. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, have a good night. I love you all. Oh, I forgot something very important. Here, I am having a Reiki. Let me see if this works. A Reiki training class, Reiki 2, on September 19, in 2 weeks from now. Here is the program. I'm going to send you the link. Let's put the links for anybody who may be interested. One link here, another link here, and the last link on YouTube. No, where is the YouTube? Ah, here. All right, everybody. I'm glad to see you. And I see you tomorrow at 1. Good night. Thank you, Clau. Thank you, everybody. Good night. Lily, how are you? Mayra Camacho. Nice to see you.